Live one of the great matchups as it happened.
Boston will be in the dark uniforms. They are green, Philadelphia in white, and we will have a whistle. It'll be Boston ball to start it off. The team split the season series 3-3. 2-1 Philadelphia leading. Game 4 here. The last time the Celtics won on this court was in November or January of 1979. Chris Ford to Larry Bird. He misses, and you heard what he said at the top of the show. He wants to get off strong and hit those shots. He missed the first one. Dawkins, who's picked up a lot of fouls early in this series and in the Milwaukee series, as Irving loses the ball to Maxwell. Tiny Archibald, bumped by Holland. The quarterback to this team, as we watch to see what adjustments have been made from the previous game. Baseline shot by Cornbread Maxwell puts Boston in front. Mo Cheeks in the backcourt with Lionel Hollins. Irving and Caldwell Jones up front along with Darryl Dawkins. Cheeks goes inside to Dawkins, and we have a pushing foul inside. Robert Parrish. You couldn't have a worse game than Robert Parrish had Friday night.
Right, Friday night he was 1 for 14. The Philadelphia Ball Club did a great job against Robert Parrish. He has to play much better basketball this afternoon than he did Friday night for the Celtics to be successful.
The Celtics have controlled the defensive board against the Philadelphia 76ers as Dawkins makes 1 of 2. So we'll watch to see what Bird does, and Dr. J is guarding Bird to start this game off. Cheeks trying for the steal as Cheeks came right into your living room trying to get the steal, and the ball is under our desk right now, and until they get it out, they won't continue. Kevin, you're going to have to get the basketball because it's right underneath. Oh, you want everything, don't you?
I used to get a technical for that.
Bird will inbound, and he finds Maxwell. Superb field goal shooter and rebounder as he forces that shot. Gets his own rebound. Good block by Caldwell Jones. It's still Boston ball, but Caldwell's doing the same stuff today.
That's the defense, the team defense we talked about, the same as they did in the past games. Right now, Caldwell Jones will go up and block the shot.
They use a stack to inbound the ball to the Celtics, who, along with the 76ers, 62-20 in the regular season. First time since the NBA was restructured in 4 divisions that the league's top 2 teams came out of the same division. Inside, a couple of fakes by Maxwell, and the rebound by Doc. Irving working against Maxwell. Hollins. Cheeks normally the point guard. Hollins brings it up and hits the jumper.
If there's a change in Boston's style, is that they're trying to go to the big man every time down the floor. The front line, they've gone every single time down the floor to the front line.
Cheeks trying to keep track of Archibald, who goes in. The basket counts and a foul. Tiny Archibald, who is averaging 7 points more in this series than he did during the regular year.
It's a great move by Tiny. There was a switch off by Doc. Doc really turned around and enabled Tiny to go down the middle. Cheeks played pretty good defense, but Doc didn't give him the help.
Billy Cunningham, I think he's feeling the pressure a little bit.
Well, this is a big series for Billy C. He's done just about everything so far in professional basketball as a coach. To win a championship will be the big thing for him.
Boston by 1. Opening moments here. Teams feeling each other out here. The chess games of a playoff when you play each other consecutively as Caldwell Jones. That was a shot that was short. That was not a pass, I don't believe, to Caldwell, but he was alert. Archibald pulls up at the foul line. He's short. Philadelphia. Lionel Hollins with the experience of the Portland NBA championship a couple of years ago. Baseline. Irving. Dawkins. And it's Darryl Dawkins with the tap-in. Boy, the Doc, they triple team him. He'll find someone open.
If you get open with the Doc and he has the ball, he will find you, and that time he found Darryl Dawkins.
We have a whistle and a foul. It is on Mo Cheeks. Philadelphia committing their first team foul. Boston has 1, make it the second foul for Philadelphia, 2 on Philly. As you look at Maurice Cheeks, who had a little run in the other night with Tiny Archibald. Parrish shooting and missing. Trying to get on track from that 1 for 14. Hollins driving. And Philly is just beating Boston down. And Bill Fitch doesn't want to delay it anymore. He knows how important this game is because Boston could be in deep trouble if they don't win today.
Exactly right. He calls a quick timeout. Bill Fitch usually lets it go a little longer. That time it was very poor defense by Robert Parrish. Right now, Bill Fitch is letting Parrish know that he didn't help out. He should have seen the ball, and he should have actually blocked that shot. He didn't help out his teammates. Bill Fitch was upset.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
5-point lead for Philadelphia. Bird inbounding to Maxwell. Caldwell Jones is guarding Cornbread. It goes right to the hoop and scores. Maxwell averaging 12.3 in the series, slightly below his season's average. But he played a solid game Friday night. Tiny and Cheeks going at it, and that could be our interesting matchup this afternoon. Caldwell Jones trying to find Dawkins. It's tipped by Parrish. No, it wasn't. Save. Hollins loses the ball. Boston has a 4-on-2 right now. Coming back into play is Dawkins, and Dawkins knocked the ball away with his foot. Not a foot block. Boston holds on to it. Parrish trying to get the shooting eye. Hits there.
That's a very important basket for Robert Parrish because he has to get off in the game. There's nothing like making that first jumper to help you get started.
He had only 6 points, as we said, on a horrendous shooting night. Averaging 13 for the series. 1-point lead for the Sixers. This will go back and forth many times. And off the side, a foul called on Maxwell. Boston's second team foul in the first against Maxwell.
One thing Cornbread Maxwell was doing in that play is when Dr. J took the jump shot, Maxwell took off to get involved in the offensive part of the game on the fast break.
Dr. J on the line. Shooting from the field well below par in the playoffs in this series. 40% compared to over 50 for the year, and is 10 points below his season's average against the Celtics. But like Bird, Doc can have an off night and all of a sudden come back with a vengeance.
I think having to play Bird on the other end might cause some of the off night on the offensive end.
All right, good point. Sixers by 2, 8.5 minutes remaining first quarter. First of a doubleheader on CBS today. Cheeks. And you know that you'll see Tony before long in this game. He's cut down on Cheeks playing time. Parrish shows up an air ball, but Bird is there trying to get some room and draws the foul. Larry Bird could do it all and did it all in game number 2.
Don't leave him alone now, remember.
There's Andrew Toney, who will be in the game shortly, and he's a real key to this series so far. He just dominated the Boston guards.
Didn't do anything against Milwaukee, Kevin, because of the matchup situation. Against Boston, it's a different story. Average over 26, and Toney has had a whale of a series so far as Bird hits the first free throw. And ML Carr, who was playing a little rough against Andrew Toney on Friday. Carr, who was out for half the season. He's a physical guard forward type, and probably the best defensive guard the Celtics have coming off the bench. So we have a tie here with 8 minutes and 10 seconds to go first quarter. Cheeks firing over Tiny and hits. Mo Cheeks. His scoring was up against Milwaukee, down against Boston, and we have a backcourt foul. Maurice Cheeks, a little over anxious right here.
What can happen, Dick, when two players like Cheeks and Tiny are going against one another, that's a backcourt foul. But they could get carried away in the confrontation between one another and forget about that they're the lead guards for the clubs that has to settle the team down. It could turn out to be a minus for both players.
Fourth team foul on Philadelphia. One more and they're in a penalty as Tiny hits the free throw. Outstanding free throw shooter. Has hit 19 to 24 in this series. Another tie. substitutions yet. Cheeks picked up by Tiny. Bo almost lost the ball. Doc, who has not been very much in the game as of yet. Hollins gets a screen from Cheeks. Fighting for the rebound is Caldwell Jones. And steps called against Maxwell, and Caldwell Jones shows defense of a different kind, fighting for the loose ball in the corner.
Caldwell Jones, here's two big people almost falling out of bounds. That used to be a force out in the league. No longer do we have that rule. It's either you're out of bounds or it's a foul. No more force out.
Hollins finds Dawkins. Dawkins can stay out of foul trouble. That'll be a very important asset to Philadelphia against the depth of the Boston front line. Basket by Hollins is good and a foul. Lionel Hollins, who is showing that playoff experience in the series thus far.
Here's Lionel Hollins will throw a head fake to Ford, gets him off his feet. But the thing that Philadelphia has done here is make sure that they go to their guards, while on the other end, Boston's going to their big people.
Foul was on Chris Ford, third team foul, and Hollins has 7 of the Sixers' 15 points. They're up by 3. Their biggest lead was 5. 7.5 minutes to play first quarter. Chris Ford has had a terrible shooting series. Hits that one. He's got to get on track because they need his long-range bombing.
They do, Dick, and that's not the shot he usually takes. That was a little bit forced, but he made the shot.
Cheeks goes quickly into the dock. Rebound Bird. Parrish, good defense inside, and now Tiny Archibald, the quarterback of this team, pulls up. Rebound Dawkins. Boston had no one underneath. And on the break, Irving stuffs it through, and the crowd loves it here. Last week's crowd of 6,000 was a black eye on what is normally a great sports town, Philadelphia, but they've had 2 straight sellouts in this series. Once again, Sixers by 3. Hollins is on Tiny on a switch right now. Ford in three-point territory. Double team. Shoots from the corner. Not a smart shot for Chris Ford, and the rebound to Philadelphia. Cheeks. 2 trailers this time. Cheeks and Tiny at it again. Bird. Sloughing off. Irving and Maxwell are tangled up. We have seen signs of the physical aspect to this series. Parrish the rebound. Bird. Parrish. Still doesn't have the shooting eye. But despite that, Parrish has still played the same amount of time than he averaged during the year. McHale and Roby haven't played more. Dawkins misses a layup inside, and he had an easy one there. Bird at the other end, 2-on-1, takes it to the hoop and draws the foul. He changed hands going in, and the crowd thought it was a charge.
Larry Bird makes the move just to get fouled. He really doesn't look to make this shot. He's afraid the shot might be blocked. He just looks to get fouled. He respects Caldwell Jones' ability to block shots. He reversed hands and made a real fine move and did get fouled.
As Bird hits the free throw, Dawkins goes out with 5 rebounds, but for once, Darrell is not in foul trouble. Rick Roby come in as well. So Roby comes in, and now the chess game begins. Roby in for Parrish, and Bird, who does just about everything well, hits the free throws to bring Boston to within 1 again. 5:45 remaining first quarter. Dick Stockton, Kevin Lockery here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Sixers in white, Celtics in green. Philadelphia leads 2-1, best of 7 Eastern final. Look at that move by Doc.
That's an excellent individual move by Dr. J. He took it to the basket, it spun to the basket. He usually goes the opposite direction. He fooled Maxwell on the play.
And you're also looking at the top 2 defensive team in the NBA this year. As Maxwell has the shot blocked by Caldwell Jones. The reason why. Philadelphia number 1, Boston number 2 in defense. And the dot changed hands there. Bobby Jones. He gets to the spot, and Bill Fitch now will want another timeout. And once again, Philadelphia has matched their biggest lead of 5 points. Technical foul has been called. So just as we speak, as they say, a technical foul has been called. can see that coming as Jones connects.
Usually the coach will take advantage of the lesser of the senior officials. They won't get on Jake O'Donnell as much as they will Billy Zoll.
Philadelphia shut out Boston 6-0 in points from defensive rebounds. 5 minutes to go. 6-point lead, biggest lead of the game for Philadelphia. Bird, baseline shot rejected by Julius Erving, and I think this is as good as time as anyone. They need to tell everyone that Boston and Philly were 2-3 in blocked shots in the league this year.
Right now, here's Dr. J playing super defense. 5-second violation right now against Boston.
They didn't get the ball inbounds, and right now I have to think not only the Celtics, but Bill Fitch a little unraveled at this point.
They have to be, because they know this is such a big game for them. Not that it's not a big game for Philly, but the team defense for Philly is sensational, and you can lose the game in the first quarter here.
Well, you know, to say it's a big game for both, like you point out, but the urgency has to be with Boston, because if they lose, well, we've already pointed out, coming back from 3-1 is almost nigh impossible. Caldwell Jones outside. And now Archibald is overplaying Sheets. Tough defense by Boston. The basket rolls off, and a foul is called. They came close to a three-point play situation.
Bird on defense. I would have called this an offensive foul, because Bird was really playing a straight-up defense, and Bobby Jones initiated the contact with his shoulder and dipped into Bird, but it was a close call. Here's the play here. Here's Bobby Jones, dips into Bird. That should have been an offensive foul, but we're a little further away than the officials are there.
Right. Bobby Jones on the line. Foul on Larry Bird, his first and the fourth team fouls. Philadelphia is over the limit. The Celtics have committed 4, and the missed free throw by Bobby Jones. 5 years in the NBA, 7-year career out of North Carolina. And a sound fundamental player. 7-point lead for Philadelphia. Bird has taken just 2 shots from the floor and hasn't connected yet. Hollins is guarding Tiny. Irving on Bird. Quick passing. Ford hits Chris Ford from outside. And he remembers the game he had. 16 points in that final game of the year that gave Boston the division title via the tiebreaker. Bobby Jones has it deflected by Maxwell. So Boston showing some good inside defense at one end. They come the other end. And a whistle. And traveling against Larry Bird. He wanted to get off to a good start in this game. And so far he hasn't.
He will walk on this play because he fumbles the pass. But again, he'll be in the game. It'll take just a few minutes, and you'll hear from Larry Bird before this game is over.
Hey, he can score 18 points in the 1 quarter. He's done it. Hollins pulls up. Ford gave him the shot, and Hollins took an errant shot. Boston coming back down by 5. First quarter action under 4 minutes to play. In the Spectrum, these clubs have met so many times. First when they were known as the Philadelphia Warriors, and then of course when they came back as the 76ers. Switch jump defense, Caldwell Jones. Irving on Bird with 4 seconds on the shot clock. Off balance shot missed, and Philadelphia back with the dot. Hollins in a crowd. Smartly, Doc takes it out of 3-second trouble. Irving hasn't started to go yet, and yet Philadelphia has controlled this game, though, a 5-point lead, and will have a Boston foul, and that'll put him over the limit. It's on Maxwell, his second.
Dr. J is really just going one-on-one with Maxwell. Once you reach in like Maxwell is going to do right here, even if you get the ball, the officials will call timeout.
What Irving is doing, Kevin, is giving himself up offensively to slow down Bird on defense.
The one thing he might get a little tired by having to play both ends of the court so tough. You're playing a Bird on one end, and then you're going one-on-one offensively the other end. You'll have to wear out a little bit. They'll have to give a rest shortly.
1 of 2, 6-point lead for Philadelphia, 3:15 to go. Maxwell has 2 fouls, the only Celtic with 2 team personal fouls. Bird setting a screen for Tiny. Loop it in now to Parrish. He came back briefly. He went out just for a little while when Roby came in, and Tiny goes in, dishes it off nicely to Cornbread Maxwell, and that's what Archibald does the best.
That's the penetration you have to have from Tiny. Instead of having him taking the outside shot, you have to have him penetrate and hit the open man.
24-20 to score. 2:45. Doc taking outside and hits the shot. We noticed that Cornbread Maxwell was releasing. As soon as Doc went up with the shot, he went down, and we'll take a look at that later. Sixers by 6. The basket should count by Tiny, and he has penetrated 2 straight times down the court. Basket counts and a foul.
Tiny taking it to the basket. Last time he dishes the ball off to Parrish for a basket. This time he takes it all the way. The one thing Tiny does every time on the break, on a drive to the basket, is make contact looking for the foul.
Andrew Toney gets a hand as Hollins has committed his third personal foul, and here is Andrew Toney, who has been the hero so far, averaging over 26.5 points per game, 80 points in 86 minutes, and he's a cool customer.
He's an exceptional offensive player, Dick. He's extremely confident in his abilities.
Dawkins also comes back in the game, and he has no personal foul, so he's fresh. Toney guarded by Chris Ford. Bobby Jones and Toney, along with Dawkins. Hollins, offensive foul called against Andrew Toney, rookie from Southwest Louisiana.
Offensive foul on Toney. The mistake was not so much the foul, but when you come in the game, you should give it a little time before you try to go one-on-one and get a feel for the game.
Boston feels that Toney is maybe a ball hog. That may be a strong statement, but they think that maybe Philadelphia could suffer sometime if he takes it himself too much.
He's a basic one-on-one basketball player.
Pass inside and a foul, a risky pass in there, and a Boston foul underneath. It might be against Parrish. We'll see.
Now, Parrish and Dawkins just pushing one another. Parrish decides, I'm just going to pull him down. I can't stop him. I might as well get the foul. Problem with that is they're in the penalty. It'll be one-on-one for two.
And a great view from behind the basket of how physical this game is developing right now. Dawkins can put the Sixers up by 5 points. Celtics have stayed close, but Philadelphia has been in the flow more than Boston.
Philly's running a half-court game much better than Boston is right now. Bird has to get into the offense a little bit more.
Toney is guarding Tiny Archibald. That could be a break for Tiny. Tony's strength is not defense. Parrish goes in, basket counts and a foul. Robert Parrish going in. We always knew he was an offensive performer, but Bill Fitch and the Celtics turned him into a defensive monster this year.
Is Parrish going to the basket? It's a mistake defensively by Dawkins to allow him to go to his right hand. He should be pushing him to his left hand, make him drive the baseline instead of letting him come across the middle. But for a 7-foot big man, that's a great move by Robert Parrish. Boston has done a great job with Parrish. He plays both ends of the floor. He's been almost the MVP all year.
3-point lead, 28-25. Dawkins' foul was his second. Toney goes baseline, just beat Chris Ford, and there's going to be a definite advantage to the quickness of Toney against Chris Ford in that matchup. Minute and a half remaining, first quarter. Parrish setting a screen for Tiny, and on a switch, Dawkins picks him up. Maxwell inside, and a whistle, traveling call inside. Whatever Philadelphia is doing, they're causing Boston fits and trying to work the ball in.
It's great team defense by Switch, and every time that the Boston people will cross, Philadelphia will switch man, even if it's a big man to a small man.
Andrew Toney playing that one-on-one game, giving up the dribble. Bobby Jones, Maxwell sloughs off, Hollins got free, Tiny Archibald missed an assignment, and Hollins burned him. 7-point lead. Biggest lead was 8 for Philadelphia. Under a minute to play in the first quarter. And Philadelphia gets the vote in this quarter and the lead. Ford with a hook shot in the lane.
Another fine move by Chris Ford. The hook shot is really basically not his shot. He's usually a standstill jump shooter, but you have to innovate and try to make different moves when you're going top.
And we have an offensive foul called against Philadelphia and a timeout called by the Sixers. Foul against Andrew Toney. Philadelphia had the ball in their backcourt, and Toney committed the foul on Chris Ford.
What Toney has done so far, come in the game and try to go one-on-one every time. You can't go one-on-one every time. He pushes Ford off right here, obviously a foul, good call by the official. He's coming in trying to do too much too quickly. You got to get in the flow of the game, Dick, before you can do everything like
this. Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Now as we start the second quarter, Maurice Cheeks, number 10, Toney 22 in the backcourt, Dawkins 53 the center, Irving 6, and Bobby Jones 24 for the white uniform Sixers. Dawkins over Roby. Dawkins is playing a good game and staying out of some foul trouble.
Exactly, but Boston is allowing Philadelphia to move the ball around the perimeter very easily. They have to put more defensive pressure on Philadelphia.
9-point lead. Biggest lead of the game for Philadelphia. Maxwell shooting outside. Philly was supposed to have trouble shooting outside, not Boston, but the Celtics have had the difficulty. Bird is 0 for 4 in this game from the field. Bobby Jones right of the key is short. Tipped away. Tony saves it. Inside to the Doc. Look at that shuffle pass to Bobby Jones. It rolls off, but he'll get 2 shots at the line. Irving had 10 points, Hollins 9 in the first quarter for the Sixers. Archibald had 7 for Boston. Bird had 4 free throws. That's all.
Bill Fitch right now is going to have to find a combination that works. Here comes McHale. Here comes ML Carr. They need some changes. Their offense is not working the way they like it to. Defensively, they haven't been aggressive enough.
And they're trying to find a combination as they tried Friday night to no avail. First, they wanted to put Roby in and the big guys, and now they're going in with McHale and Carr with a little bit more defense in their lineup.
Bobby Jones going to the hoop. He'll be fouled by Bird, but Bobby Jones uses his left hand much better than most players use it. He uses both hands, left and right.
There you're looking at the first quarter statistics. 11-point lead for Philadelphia. Roby setting a screen for Tiny. Tiny hasn't gotten off the shots he would like against the likes of Tony right now. Bird on a missed pass, 0 for 5 from the field. Philadelphia coming back with a Doc on the break. It's 2 on 3, however, and Julius goes in over Larry Bird. It was 2 on 3, and it was Tony who they thought was going to get the ball, but no, Doc took it himself.
Great move by Doc, but Larry Bird missed the open shot, and when you miss an easy open jumper and it's not going in, you get the break. Here comes Doc, a great move. Finger roll by Dr. J. Not too many people can do that.
Doc won a championship playing for Kevin in the ABA, but never in the NBA. 13-point lead. Philadelphia's outscored Boston 14-4 to open up a big margin here with 10:25 to go. Tiny shooting over Cheeks hits. Archibald outside.
That time, Tiny used the Philadelphia play. They used the play right from Philadelphia's playbook, and they got a good basket out of it.
Interesting, Philadelphia didn't really try to do much to stop the outside perimeter shooting by Boston in Game 3. Irving into Dawkins, off his fingertips, and it's controlled by Boston as McHale picks it up. Tiny throws the ball away. Tony made a good defensive play. Mo Cheeks dishes off to Andrew Tony, and McHale makes the block, but a Boston foul inside. Going all the way through, we have a foul on Larry Bird.
Good defense by Andrew Tony, and he not only makes the play on one end, but he gets involved in a break. Good pass by Cheeks, but Tony ran hard. A lot of players will give up on the play, but when you're a scorer like Tony is, he knows where to go and get involved in the offense.
Larry Bird has 3 personal fouls. He has not scored in the second quarter, and his 4 points have come from the free throw line. Now keep in mind that this brilliant player can explode at any time, but the Celtics are hoping it's sooner than later.
They're going to need him to explode shortly because the game is getting a little bit out of hand as far as the way the offense is being run.
9:40 remaining in the first half. Kevin McHale, outstanding rookie from Minnesota. ML Carr, who's been off on his shooting, misses outside, and Andrew Tony's ahead of the field. Watch him. And a foul on ML Carr. He will not beat us in a game. Bill Fitch has come to rue those words. And here's why.
Andrew Tony, great individual ability. He has a nose to score. He's not what you call a super-duper shooter, but he has a nose to score. He knows how to get out on the break. He's a good opportunist, and he got extreme confidence in his own abilities, no matter who he's playing against.
ML Carr, foul. Tony couldn't make the free throw. Boston 3 team fouls, Philadelphia none, and the Sixers have scored 14 points on the fast break. Boston only 4. That's a big part of the story here. Philadelphia looking very much like to take the 3-1 lead back to Boston. Inside, McHale double team. Fall away, short. Bird, McHale. And I'll tell you, if any guy can do it, this rookie, who the Celtics like to use late in the game, comes on there, and he is a charger. Boy, Red Auerbach knew what he was doing. 13-point lead for Philadelphia, under 9 minutes to play first half. goes inside, and a fine pass by Bobby Jones to Darryl Dawkins, and a foul on Boston inside. Foul on Roby, I believe.
It's a good play by the officials because one official actually was going to call this a charge. The other official was going to call it a block.
Jake called it.
Block. Jake was going to call it the other way, but they got together before the play. And I know very few people noticed that. I think I might have got another technical on that play.
Well, all you try to do is hide the ball. That's all you try to do in this game, under the table. Darryl Dawkins misses the free throw. Philadelphia has had a so-so afternoon at the line, but they're leading nonetheless by 14 points with 8 minutes and 40 seconds to go. 14 fouls on Boston, none against Philadelphia. So they've got a cushion there. Rick Roby going to the hoop, doesn't fall, gets his rebound, and a hold inside. That's the first Philadelphia foul of the quarter, and it comes with 8.5 to go.
Here's where Roby's toughest. He drives to the basket, misses the shot, but he goes right back up to get the rebound. That's a good offensive rebound out there. That's hard work. Offensive rebounds, hard work. He gets fouled, but he was looking to get right back up to help him get the ball.
Dawkins gets a hand. This is one of his better games, even though he hasn't scored much. He's got 8 points as he leads the game right now, and 7 rebounds. Philadelphia coming back with a 14-point advantage. The trailer, Bobby Jones. Tony off the mark on the jump shot. Still Sixers ball. Dawkins is playing maybe the second solid game of all the playoffs for Philadelphia today.
He's played very well today. Again, it doesn't have to be scoring, but he's been intimidating in the middle, and he bothered Parrish so far in the last 2 games.
He's only 24 years old, been in the league 6 years. He came out of high school in Orlando, Florida. Cheeks. Caldwell Jones. When Jones hits from outside, you got gravy going for you, right?
Caldwell Jones can make that shot, but he does not take too many. He plays the good role, a team role player.
Biggest lead of the game, 16, and Boston comes back with 2 more. Tiny Archibald with 11 points, the leading scorer for the Celtics, connects there.
Great individual move by Tiny. Going to the basket, he gets fouled. As we said, he always tries to make contact when he drives, so if he misses the shot, he'll get a foul.
How has his game changed from the time you coached him?
I think he's a much better defensive player now than he was 4 or 5 years ago, and that's the biggest plus.
7:45 remaining, 7:45 first half. 13-point lead for Philadelphia. Keep in mind, Larry Bird hasn't really begun to generate anything yet, and Boston is only 13 back, and they've been outplayed. Here's a misplay. Tiny inside to Roby, going to the hoop. Basket counts and a foul, and the Celtics coming alive, perhaps for the first time this afternoon, and Billy Cunningham will send Lionel Hollins in.
Again, Tiny makes the right play, hits Roby. Roby runs well for a big man, takes it strong. But Tiny has helped him get 6 points in the last 2 times up the floor, and that's been the difference to get him back in the game right now.
So Cheeks goes out with 2 points, but he's been basically the playmaker thus far. Replaced by Hollins. So Tony and Hollins in the backcourt, and they set up a play. Hollins calls it. That's our score. 7:20 remaining first half. Philadelphia leading 2-1. Bobby Jones got free. Who missed it there, Bird?
Defensive error by Larry Bird. He was trying to front Bobby Jones. He fell down in the play. Nice pass by Dr. Bobby Jones.
ML Carr and Tiny Archibald in the backcourt. McHale lost the ball to Jones. Here's Andrew Toney. Boston back on defense. Toney did not see Larry Bird. He didn't have to. Andrew Toney now with 8 points in the game. And a 15-point lead. The rookie from Southwest Louisiana playing like he's been in the NBA for years.
Right now, Boston looks confused. Their bench, their players look confused. They cannot believe what's happening to them on the floor right now.
ML Carr hits the jump shot outside. He struggled from the field thus far at 4 for 15. And the Boston bench wondering what's going on. And you saw Robert Parrish there.
This could be a confidence letdown on Boston right now. They have to get back by the end of this period to 6 or 7 points, or they really could lose some confidence.
A lot of history between these two teams. And last year, the recent history. Larry Bird, good steal. He overplayed Bobby Jones. 3-on-1. Tiny Archibald takes it, and it's deflected. A fine defensive play at one end. Toney to Caldwell. Jones will slow it up. Hollins hits the jumper.
Another great defensive play by Dr. J. Boxed his shot. Tiny tried to make the contact. Doc's got 4 or 5 by block shots. Best defense I've seen Doc play in a couple of years in this series.
15-point lead. Sixers' largest advantage was 16 points. Roby baseline. Jones all over him. Philadelphia playing an outstanding basketball game at both ends of the floor in this first half. As Carr throws up a wild shot and a 3-on-1 fast break. Irving to Jones. He's got 2 more.
Boston needs a timeout. They're going to take another timeout. They really are having tough problems with the offense.
All right, Larry Bird made a great defensive play right here overplaying Jones.
Great steal, great tip pass by Larry Bird on this play. Just flicking to Tiny. Tiny will try to make contact with Doc. There it is, great play by Doc, because Tiny made the contact, and he's still able to block the shot. It's just great individual play.
Last year, Boston lost to Philly in 5, and it could be the same result if they don't turn it around today. And the Celtics may be out of sync in a lot of ways as they come into this very important game and trail. Trying to get on track. Tiny Archibald misses the shot inside. Bird, though. Crowd yelling for 3 seconds. Philadelphia coming out with the ball with a dot. Tiny on the dot. And Doc finds Andrew Toney. How did he find him, Kevin?
Great pass by Doc, but the other end, it's Larry Bird really struggling. I think he should take him out of the game, let him look at the game from the bench for 2 minutes, and then come back and try to get in the flow.
Toney was hit in the eye. The physical aspects of the game, very apparent. He caught an elbow there.
M.L. Carr will catch Toney. It wasn't M.L. Carr, it was Rick Roby who caught him off a pick. Unintentional. When you're fighting picks, you run into elbows, particularly against the big people.
And Al Domenico now on the court. We'll take a look at Roby. On the right of your screen, they hit him with an elbow, and of course, I suppose it is unintentional, right? You said so.
Well, it's unintentional, but you do have to pick up the elbow sometimes when you're setting a pick. You don't want to get hurt yourself. But Toney was fighting over the pick, doing his job, and they called the foul on Roby. You could go either way in that play. As long as Toney's fighting over the pick, you have to call it.
Tuesday, and of course, the Eastern Regional Finals of Pepsi Hot Shots. So stay with us at halftime. 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go first half. 57-38, and we'll have a foul. And once again, Jake O'Donnell overrules Sarr and calls an offensive foul against Philadelphia.
Well, again, the officials overrule one another, but they got together on the play. Jake O'Donnell had the better view of the play, and it's a 3rd foul on Darryl Dawkins right now. That could turn it around a little bit for Philadelphia, let Boston come back in the game.
Philly's biggest lead of 19 points right now. Bird harassed by Irving. Carr in a crowd. Caldwell Jones couldn't make the block, and Boston gets 2, but they are working and struggling for everything they get on the point column. Toney. Carr on him. Toney put a great move on M.L. Carr. Missed the shot. Caldwell Jones and Archibald go dancing a little bit on the floor, and we'll call the foul. Jump ball, huh?
This will be called a jump ball. Tiny gets in among the big people. He grabs for the ball. That's a good call by Jake. I'd rather have that a jump ball than a foul.
Well, this is an even jump, isn't it?
Tiny should get the tap here, Dick, easy.
Yeah, if he stands on a chair, he'll still be 3 inches shorter.
Right now, Boston should try to steal a tap. Kevin McHale could jump up in front of Toney, I think.
Look at Carr getting in there. Look at Carr trying to get this. A sandwich right there.
Right now, Caldwell is going to tap the ball to Dr. Jack. No, he went the other way.
Toney has it. Under 4 minutes to go. First half.
44.
And now play 44. Let's play 44.
44 should be for Doc on the side. They'll bring it into Doc in deep with McHale.
They have a double screen on the right side with Caldwell Jones and Steve Mix, and Hollins. Bank shot no good. And Mix is there. McHale comes out with an almost walk. Larry Bird crossed the line. 17-point lead. And McHale tried to stuff it through, and they're going to count the basket. And McHale looks like he's shaken up a bit. Count the basket for Kevin McHale.
That looked like a great defensive play by Caldwell Jones, but if you get the ball over the basket, it can be goaltending. It's tough to see from there, but it was a tough call. But Billy Czar called it goaltending, and Kevin McHale might have got hurt a little bit on the play.
Yeah, he's rubbing his hip. 15-point lead for Philadelphia. Their biggest lead was 19 just a few moments ago. 3:20 to go first half. Double team Irving short. Roby to Tiny. McHale on the left side. ML goes low to McHale. McHale goes in, blocked by Caldwell Jones. Larry Bird lays it in. And Larry Bird has his first first field goal of the game. He's now 0 for 8 from the field, or 1 for 8, we should say. 9 rebounds and 3 assists, and Cunningham calls time, and a good timeout.
Good timeout by Billy C. It's the first time that Boston has made a run in this quarter, and it's an excellent timeout. Larry Bird has to get involved in the game a little bit more. I like what McHale's trying to pick up his club by being aggressive offensively. Bird picks up on the offensive rebound, but he's got to start hitting some jump shots from the outside to help Boston.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Mix has the ball. Into Bobby Jones, double team. Try to draw the foul. Caldwell Jones got loose. When you double team, someone is free, and Caldwell Jones, who's playing well at both ends of the court. 15-point lead again for the Sixers. Turn it over to Philadelphia. And Boston really will have to get their act together as Robert Parrish has some anxious moments there. The Boston Celtics had the rest. They didn't have to play in the mini-series. They blew out Chicago 4 in a row. As we see the foul underneath, they had the rest. Philadelphia struggled in 7 games in beating Milwaukee. And the Celtics could have an early vacation. This game is so pivotal for them.
When you get into the playoff situation with 2 great teams, the team that executes the half-court offense, their own half-court offense, better than the other will win the series. Right now, Philadelphia is executing their offense so much better than Boston is. Boston's having to struggle. Actually, Boston has involved some of Philadelphia plays in their offense, but they're struggling on the offensive end of a half-court setup defense.
Foul was on Kevin McHale. Boston over the limit. Philadelphia has a foul to give. 2:15 remaining first half. 61-44. Boston has not won in 10 tries in playoff and regular season here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Tiny goes to the hoop and misses. Rebound in by Rick Roby. Yet the Celtics have the best road record for the 2nd straight year in the NBA. They can't win here.
It's a funny situation, but Philadelphia's a great team. They get up for Boston. It's a great rivalry.
Bobby Jones misses a shot he hit on several times Friday night that fall away from the baseline. 1:45 remaining in the half. 61-46. Carr not going in. Boston can't get on track. Tony slows it up.
One swing. Let's go. Let's jump.
McHale is on Jones. Caldwell Jones is outside. Nix working on Bird. And Nix hooks over Larry Bird. Larry Bird is having an off game thus far. He could go and explode at any time, but he has had 2 subpar quarters for him, or for anyone. Winding down to 1 minute remaining in the first half. McHale falls down. Caldwell Jones, a great defensive play.
Bill Fitch claims that Kevin McHale might have been fouled or tripped on this play. They called walking against Kevin McHale.
Delay call.
I don't think he did get fouled. I think it was a walk. I think it was a good call.
And it was a delay call. Tony, baseline over Carr. Bird, the rebound. 45 seconds to go. 17-point lead. Biggest was 19 for Philadelphia. Mix hems in. Kevin McHale, who misses the shot. Philadelphia comes out 2-on-1. Steve Mix ahead of the field. And the veteran who's turned away by 5 different clubs before he hooked on with Philadelphia gives the Sixers their biggest lead, matches their biggest lead at 19 points with 18 seconds to go in the half. Holland stays with Tiny. Roby gets 2, but they are struggling for every point they get in this game.
Tiny went a little too quick on the play. They're still going to have an opportunity for Philly to get a shot off.
Tony gets it off, and it's short, but the crowd will love it. The Philadelphia 76ers are putting it on the Boston Celtics at both ends, and the Celtics are going to have to come out, as we've mentioned so many times. The opening minutes of the 3rd quarter usually tells the story, and it's going to have to in the case of the Boston Celtics this afternoon.
One thing, Dick, Boston is known around the league as a great 3rd quarter team. They come out very strong, particularly at home.
That's Bird's fourth foul, though. That's going to hurt. Larry Bird picks up his fourth foul. He's been hustling, but it just hasn't gone for him so far.
They've been strong at home, but on the road, they still come out strong. It's the fourth foul on Bird. I think you have to go with it.
Larry Bird, that's what he's done so far, but again, 11 rebounds, more than anyone in the game, 11 of his team's 23. So Larry Bird working as hard as he can, but it just isn't clicking for him right now. Caldwell Jones misses, 66-48, opening minutes here. Boston trying to get ignited here as they start with Parrish, 0-0 in the middle with Bird, Cornbread, Maxwell, Archibald, and Ford in the backcourt. Cornbread finds an opening and draws the foul. If it's on Dawkins, it'll be number 4.
Darrell is too delayed getting to the spot here. He should have been much quicker to the spot and not try to block the shot, just take position. He was a step too late, and it caused him to be out of the game now with his fourth foul, and Bobby Jones will be replacing him.
So Bobby Jones comes in. In the first half, Dawkins had 6 rebounds and 8 points. As you look at Maxwell, somehow he always makes you foul him, doesn't he?
Bill Fitch is making a big decision. He's going to go with Bird right now with 4 fouls. If Larry Bird picks up his fit, they really could be in trouble in this game. I guess he feels this is the key part of the game. You can't get down by 25 and you'll never get back in the game. I think he's making the right decision myself.
Celtics starting front line of Maxwell, Bird, and Parrish shot 6 for 20. You can credit that fine team defense by Philadelphia for that.
And that was the game plan, to go down to the big people, and so far it has not worked.
Cheeks and Hollins in the backcourt for Philadelphia and White. Bobby Jones up front with Julius Erving and Caldwell Jones, who manages to save it in the corner. He's trapped in double team. Look at that throw. Boston ball.
That's a good play by Caldwell Jones, not the pass itself, but if you're going to save the ball, he's saving the ball here. Throw the ball long so that at least you're not putting it in Boston's hands. It goes out of bounds. It's better to go out of bounds than give it to Boston. They get a fast break.
I've really been impressed with Caldwell Jones in this series and against Milwaukee. Now the half-court trap defense by Philadelphia. They did not use it in the first half. It worked against Milwaukee last Sunday in Game 7. Parrish is a high post. They go low to Bird. Bobby Jones helps out. Chris Ford hits and pops outside. Bird, even though he was double-teamed, made it work.
Great pass by Larry Bird to find the open man. Chris Ford hit the jump shot. That's his shot.
And turned the ball over to Cheeks, palmed the ball, so now a 14-point game. And Philadelphia wants to call timeout. So Philadelphia starting out in slow fashion here. Watch Bird.
Larry Bird, great, fakes the pass. Bud Doctor goes to help out. He sees Chris Ford wide open. It always helps on a great pass that the shooter makes the basket.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Philadelphia off to the slow start. Boston needs to take advantage now to get back in this game. They're on the road court, haven't won in 10 ball games here at the Spectrum, and everyone talks about it, and it makes it bigger than it is, perhaps. Dr. J in the lane. Misses the shot. Irving, by the way, had 12 points, shooting 5 for 9 in the first half. Maxwell, baseline, turn around, he's got it, and now Boston coming within 12 points.
Here comes Boston. You can feel it. Right now they're making a move, and this is the big key to the game.
Bobby Jones misses outside, and it's Maxwell boxing out. And Boston bringing it up. They're making their move now. Keep in mind, the opening minutes of the third quarter play such an important role. Ford misses. That was not a three-point attempt. Rebound. Cheeks pushing it up court. Double team, and they got him out of the drive. He couldn't penetrate. Sets it up now. 9:40 remaining third quarter. 12-point lead. Philadelphia's biggest margin was 19. They have 7 seconds on the shot clock. And Hollins is watched by Ford. Feed inside to Bobby Jones. Lays it in. Well executed.
That really hurts. Boston played excellent defense for 23 seconds. Great pass by Hollins, and they get a basket after Boston played such good defense.
Bird setting screen outside. Now has it top of the key, and that's a violation. He walked. He wanted to pass it. He wanted to shoot it. Didn't do either, and ended up turning the ball over. And, you know, he was open for the shot, top of the key, if he just faked Hollins and shot it.
He's hesitated. He usually doesn't hesitate. He takes the shot, but when you're not going good, sometimes you'll hesitate.
Remember what he said at the top? I didn't hesitate in game 2. Bobby Jones, watch watched by Bird, looking for the steal. Inside, low to the dot. Turnaround over Maxwell. Off the glass, Parrish the rebound. Tiny, knocked away by Irving, out of bounds. It's still Boston ball. Julius Erving and Larry Bird, two of the great basketball players in the pro game. You're looking at the best the sport can offer right there. Two of the best teams the sport can offer. Bird doesn't go for him, and Larry 1 for 9. Philadelphia's Jones. Bird is back on defense, offensive foul, an obvious one. Larry Bird, hot position and had it for a while.
Larry Bird really hung in there because he has 4 fouls, but he missed the shot, got back on defense. Bobby Jones takes the ball to the basket as well as anybody in professional basketball. Obvious charge, good defensive play by Larry Bird.
Well, maybe that great hustle by Bird will pay off in points sooner or later. 3rd foul against Bobby Jones on the charge. 14-point lead in a crowd as Maxwell goes up, basket, bounce and a foul. Cornbread Maxwell, and Tiny had a tough pass right in the middle of the crowd.
It was a tough pass, a nice, good individual move by Maxwell. Maxwell is one of the best inside players in the league. He only takes the good shot. He knows his limitation, and he doesn't look for the long jump shot.
Bobby Jones goes out. He has committed his 4th personal foul. He's got 14 points and is the high scorer for Philadelphia. In fact, after Julius Erving, Tony and Jones, Bobby Jones are the leading scorers, and they come off the bench. So he goes to the bench with 14, and Steve Mix replaces him, number 50. There's Mix. 11-year veteran from Toledo. He's 33 years old. 11-point lead. Closest Boston has come. Double team on Mix. Ford helping out. Someone's open. Mix can't find it. Caldwell Jones, hook shot. Caldwell Jones in the middle of that lane. 8 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. 13-point lead, but Boston senses they can get back in the game.
They really feel they can get back. They have to put a couple of big baskets together, just like that. Nice drive by Ford. I believe they'll be back in the game. Cut it to 8 points.
Chris Ford, good baseline. 11 again. Biggest lead, 19 points. Cheeks working the ball. Boy, they bang it around. Mix has it. Bird defending. Mix, wild shot. And we have goal. Basket's going to count. They interfered with the ball on top of the cylinder. Count it.
I didn't like the call because I think the ball was over the basket, but Jake O'Donnell had a good view of the play and called the goaltender.
Steve Mix gets credit for the bucket. Again, 13 points. So Philly comes back and gets the 2 every time Boston gets it to 11. Against Hollins. Bird, he's open for this and hits. If Larry Bird gets hot, you know we're going to have a close game.
That's the one few open shots he's had all game, though. There wasn't someone in his face. Usually there's a hand in his face. He was wide open. He won't miss that shot.
Not many fouls called. Philly 2, Celtics 1. That's not a factor with 7 minutes remaining in the 3rd. Mix double team, puts it up anyway. Knocked away Bird, 3-on-1. Hollins makes it 3-on-2. Archibald lays it in, and now the Boston Celtics have come within 9 points, and that's the magic number. You want to get less than 10.
Exactly. They got less than 10. It's time right now for Philadelphia to set up one of their favorite plays. It will be to move into dot and let him go one-on-one probably on this spot.
First time Celtics have been within 10 since 36-27 with 11:44 left in the first half. Hollins puts a fake on, and we have a foul, and traveling called by Bill Sarr. Goes traveling underneath, and Cunningham thought that Jake was going to call a foul, I believe. The Celtics have trailed all the way in this game. Philadelphia had a 19-point bulge. Parrish turning around against Caldwell Jones. It's 7 points. Boston coming alive in a game that is so very crucial to them. They have not won here in Philadelphia in the last 10 games, and to break that jinx would be a big boost to them. Inside, Dr. J puts it right back. This is the 8th time these clubs have met in the playoffs since Philadelphia's latest franchise was established in 1963. Traveling call, Philadelphia gets it back. Celtics are 6 for 8 shooting in this quarter. Philadelphia 4 for 8. Cheeks and Hollins, the guards, Caldwell Jones, Mix, and Irving. Caldwell Jones in the center position. What a pass by Mix, and what a pass by Lyon.
the 3-second area that easily, and it was a great pass by both players.
11-point lead, offensive foul against Boston. Tiny Archibald.
There's an inside pass by Steve Mitch, which is not an easy pass. He makes a great pass. And here's another fine pass right here, and then you have the dunk shot by Carter. That's tough passing inside the lane.
Second foul on Tiny. Caldwell Jones hooks it in. And Boston losing some of that momentum that they had just a few moments ago. They got it to within 7. But it's 13 now with under 5 minutes to play, third quarter. Chris Ford, no basket foul called before the shot. It's on Caldwell Jones, his third personal foul, and the third team foul on the Sixers. Bird inbounds, loops it to Maxwell. Bird baseline, no basket, and a foul before the shot. But that'll be the fourth team foul on Philadelphia. One more and they're in the penalty. It's on Julius Erving, his first. Bird going baseline. It hit off the side of the board, but it was deflected off a Philadelphia defender. Still Boston ball.
Again, that's good team defense, Dick. Bird really doesn't like to go that type game one-on-one facing up. He likes to do it in the flow, and he had to go one-on-one.
Credit Doc with a 5th block shot in this game. Block shots have been just about even. Chris Ford outside hits. That's what the Celtics will need. 11-point lead now with 4:29 remaining in the third quarter. Darryl Dawkins on the bench with 4 fouls. He has scored 8 points, and we'll be seeing more of him. Loop it to Lionel Hollins. Hollins down the middle. And Parrish did not get a piece of it, but he distracted Hollins as Tiny Archibald goes the other way. Look at Larry Bird go for the ball. It's Boston ball, says Jake O'Donnell.
That's a great individual hustle by Larry Bird. A guy with 4 fouls, not playing well, but he hasn't stopped hustling. Really a key to a great player.
Ford, 2-point shot. He's got it. And Chris Ford, who has been shooting 44%, way below what he normally does, has hit the mark here. 14 points for Ford, and he and Archibald are the leading scorers. So Boston's getting points from the backcourt, and it's a 9-point lead for Philadelphia. 3:40 remaining third quarter. Irving, baseline. Was he fouled by Maxwell first? He was. Second team foul against Boston, and for Maxwell his third.
Maxwell has 3 fouls.
Maxwell cannot reach in. Anytime you reach in, as we said before, even if you do not foul, the officials will call it, and most of the times they're correct because you're reaching across someone's arm and it has to be a foul.
Sell out at the Spectrum after the disappointing 6,000 last Sunday. Bounce pass Cheeks to Irving, missed it. Boston coming back. Tiny waiting for the trailer. Ford, he's hot. Still hot. Chris Ford, 16 points, and he is 8 for 10 from the field. And Chris Ford doing what he did against the Sixers in the final regular season game. And Boston is now within 7 points with 3:15 to play in the third. Cheeks and Tiny. Inside. You're looking at it. Round level, player level. Hicks misses the shot. Maxwell clears. You're on the right side of Tiny Archibald, who now sets it up now to Robert Parrish. And a 15-footer by Parrish and a 5-point lead. Cunningham looking up at the clock. He wants to use it. 2:40 to go. The Boston Celtics are within 5. The question is, will they have anything left if they catch up?
When you have to catch up from 19 down, you might use it all up at once, but I think they're strong enough to hang in to the end.
Julius Erving, no good. Hollins fights, and Boston has it and can make it 3 with 2:25 to go in the third. A desperate situation for the Celtics. They don't want to fall behind 3-1. Only 3 teams have come back from 3-1 in the history of the league, and now Cunningham calls time as Larry Bird has brought the Celtics to within
3. Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game. Under
2 minutes to go, third quarter. Ford stays with Tony. Bird helps out. Tony hasn't been in at all this quarter and throws the ball in the backcourt. And that'll be a backcourt violation, giving it over to Boston.
Again, Tony comes in a little too quickly, trying to do too much all at once. He should try to get in the flow of the game. Boston's got a chance to cut it to 1 point. I think, again, they should look for Chris Ford since he's hot.
Celtics 12 for 16 from the field, 10 rebounds. They have dominated Philadelphia in the third quarter, and we said how important this opening period of the second half should be. Could be a 1-point game. Bird shooting top of the key. It's a 1-point game. Larry Bird coming alive now with 6 points in this quarter, has 12 in the game. And Boston's outscored Philadelphia 29-13. Loops it to Jones, and a foul is on Robert Parrish.
The outside shooting of Boston has come alive with Ford and Bird, and when you have that outside shooting, it opens it up. Billy C. has got to be tremendously concerned right now. It's a 1-point game. If they keep shooting from the outside, Boston, this is going to go right to the wire.
If they let this game get away, Philadelphia, that could have a psychological effect when they go to Boston if this is 2-2, the way this game has evolved. 1:18 to go in the quarter. By the way, Parrish has 4 personal fouls now. Caldwell Jones, Bird the rebound. What a game he has had off the glass. Jones 6 for 7, 13 points from the field. Parrish shooting away, and he wasted that one. Forced it. Tony coming back. Look at the moves Tony put on, and a pass to Jones, and a foul. And that'll be the 5th foul on Robert Parrish. And now Bill Fitch has to make a decision. And where is Kevin McHale?
I think the decision is to get Parrish out of the game. Here's the foul. Tony makes a tremendous pass to Bobby Jones. Not only can Tony score, but he can pass. He's shown here.
Sure can.
I think you have to get Parrish out of the game because you've got even.
What a great frontline depth.
You can see how the confidence turns in the game, and momentum is what they talk about an awful lot, but it is true. Now the bench of Boston's all excited. They're in every play. The players are in every play that are sitting on the bench. Before they were sitting with long faces. It really changed. Now they're involved in the game. It's different.
Parrish 5 fouls, and Boston over the limit. Sixers have committed 14 fouls, 45 seconds to go in the third quarter. Philadelphia by 3. Sheets picks up Tiny. Maxwell has a screen from Roby. Bird. Look at Bobby Jones all over. Larry Bird hits. He's come alive. And what a better time for him. 14 points for Bird. And the Philadelphia Sixers are up by 1 with that much time remaining in the third. Sheets. And a foul called outside. Bobby Jones getting a breather on the bench right now. 2 free throws by Tony, 82-79, 18 seconds. Boston will play for the last shot to try to bring it to within 1, but that's a far cry from the 17-point deficit at the half and 19 before that. Roby with Caldwell Jones out to meet him. 5 seconds to go, and Tiny Archibald misses, tipped up. Rebound, Caldwell Jones, and that'll do it. But the Celtics are back in the game, and the important thing to watch right now as Billy Cunningham gets his team back is, can Boston sustain the comeback that they have engineered in the third quarter? We'll be back. And the Sixers are up by 1 as the Celtics outscored Philly 31-17. A big margin in that important third quarter. But the question is, can they sustain? Got off to a good start. Foul. Tony will go to the line and shoot.
Well, I think Billy C. is telling him about the last play that Bird got away and got free. And to make the adjustment, I believe Doc will make the adjustment. He's played Bird very well all game.
1 of 2 for Tony, 83-81. This is Dick Stockton with Kevin Lockery here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. 4th period of Game 4 of this best-of-7 Eastern Final. Tiny Archibald hits, and we have a tie at 83. Tiny Archibald, who has averaged 20 points in this series, has 16. And Bobby Jones traveled, did not have control of that pass.
The offense of the team's breakdown. The first half, Philadelphia's running the half-court game so well. Now Boston's running their half-court game so well. It's just a total switch in game plans.
Almost 1 minute gone by. Final quarter. Good fake by Tiny. Here's Chris Ford. Short. Jones and Irving. And it's going to be a smiling. No, it's a steal or travel. Actually, Jones thought he was passing it to Cheeks, and they had to let it bounce.
They called walking on Bobby Jones. Bobby Jones was looking to generate the break, and everybody wasn't ready for Philly on that play. Again, that happens when you're not in sync. As Boston wasn't in sync the first half, it's happened to Philly right here now.
The only lead the Celtics have had was 2-0, and now they have a chance to take their first lead since the opening points of the game, as Rick Roby will go to the line, and the foul is on Caldwell Jones, his fourth. Parrish has 5 and Larry Bird 4. Those are the players in foul trouble at this juncture. Roby, 1 of 2, and the Celtics with their first lead since the opening seconds of the game. Winding down the full house of the Spectrum. Cheeks has the Bobby Jones pick. Dumps it off to Bobby. Bird left his feet in. Jones burned him. Philly has the lead again. Bobby Jones with 18. Bird open in the corner. In and out. Caldwell Jones clear. And Roby running up court with Sarr looking for the foul call. It's getting tough inside. Roby hits the fall away. Big bucket. 10 for Dawkins, and his first points since the second quarter. Philadelphia by 3. Jones overplaying Bird, it appears. Roby on a hard pass. 7 seconds on the shot clock. And the miss by Bird, Caldwell Jones, and now Boston has to think about settling it down before it gets out of hand again. They need the good defense here. Dawkins and Roby outside. 2 in a row for Dawkins. The big guy gets 2 big buckets. And Bill Fitch wants to call timeout, and a good timeout for Bill, because Dawkins' 2 field goals in a row have given the Sixers a 5-point lead.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
5-point lead. Celtics had a lead of 1 point at 84-83. 6 in a row. Run off by Philadelphia. Maxwell defended by Tony, and he saves it. No, he stepped on the line. But I'll tell you, we're seeing defensive play by Andrew Tony that a lot of our viewers have not seen before.
He's an all-around player, mainly an offensive player, but he helps out team-wise. He listens very well. I talked to Billy C about him, so he's very, very coachable.
9 seconds on the shot clock for Boston. Out of the stack, Larry Bird. Caldwell Jones is on him. Open man, Rick Roby goes in. Steps called against Roby. And Billy Cunningham, during that timeout, talked about going at Roby.
They'll probably go with Dawkins against Roby down the other end. And what Roby's got to do is make sure he pushes Dawkins to his left hand.
Why they want to work on Roby?
Well, I think they feel it's a size mismatch right here. They'll try to get it down in deep to Dawkins, and he usually shoots a jump shot, but this time they're taking it right down deep.
Foul, that's what they wanted. And now Rick Roby and Darryl Dawkins going at each other, and quickly separated by Sarr and Jake O'Donnell. And Dawkins is saying he's all over my back, Jake.
That's why Jake O'Donnell and Billy Sarr are outstanding officials. Here you have a little confrontation after the ball's brought down in deep to Dawkins right here. A good foul, make sure he doesn't make the basket, but the officials get right in and make sure there's no problem, stop any type of problem that might have caused a fight or what have you. Great job done by Billy Sarr and Jake O'Donnell. Right now, Dawkins is playing as well as I've seen him play in the playoffs.
Absolutely. 3rd personal foul on Rick Roby. 2nd team foul on Boston. Robert Parrish with 5 fouls on the bench and only 8 points. 8:35 remaining in the ball game. 91-84, at least the 4th quarter. Roby guarded by Dawkins. They go right to Roby, and he gets the hoop. Good strategy there.
That's a move Roby developed over the last year. He never took the left-handed hook like that, half hook. He's developed that. He's worked hard on it, and he can make that shot consistently now.
8 straight points were run off by the Sixers before that bucket by Roby. Tony is on the deck right now. Jones inside to Dawkins and feeds to Caldwell Jones. Tony with the offensive rebound, and we'll have offensive foul the other way. Andrew Tony gets called for the offensive foul, and I'll tell you, he's like a Quinn Buckner in there, isn't he?
He's getting very physical in the game. Tony's inside. Sometimes a guard can get burned by being in that deep. If Boston got the rebound, there wouldn't have been backcourt protection, and we got an easy shot.
Tony, 3 offensive fouls in the ball game. 91-86, Philadelphia leading. Boston trying to keep the beat going. They got back to a 1-point lead, trailing, and Ford misses the shot. Cheeks the rebound, and we may have a backcourt foul on Chris Ford on Cheeks, and I believe we do. Fourth foul.
Ford goes and misses the shot. He forced it a little bit. Accidental foul, but you have to call that because he knocked Cheeks down. It wasn't as much contact as it looked, but you have to call that foul. It's in the backcourt. It'll be 2 shots for Maurice Cheeks.
M.L. Carr, talking about physical players who played mostly forward last year. Carr got hurt, broke a bone in his foot 7 games into the season, missed half the schedule, yet Boston still won 60-86, and Mo Cheeks right now has only 3 points in the game. He scored well against Milwaukee, but Hollins has taken over the scoring along with Tony.
That's matchups again. He's not playing as many minutes in this series as he did against Milwaukee also.
7:40 to play, fourth quarter. Philadelphia's been opening it up a little bit, slowly but inexorably. A 7-point lead. Tiny inside. Maxwell, basket counts and a foul, and that is a big one. And look how Boston is surrounding Maxwell. Bird and Carr went to Maxwell like a long-lost brother after that big bucket.
It's the penetration of Tiny. Another tough pass. You'll see 5 Philadelphia players around Maxwell. He jumps back in, takes it up, finishes the play. A lot of players would have stopped. He finished it off, and got a 3-point play opportunity out of it.
5 fouls on Darryl Dawkins, who stays in the ball game. With 7:31 to play, Maxwell makes the 3-point play. 4-point lead for Philadelphia. Fireworks down the finish in this 4th game at the Spectrum. Cheeks in the backcourt with Tony. Bobby Jones comes out of a screen. Into Dawkins. Lost the ball to Boston. And Roby has it to Nate Archibald. They can come within 2 points. The Celtics with their great tradition. Larry Bird brings him to within 2. And Bird with 18 points now is matched with Bobby Jones for high score in the game. And he really had nothing early. 7 minutes to play, 4th quarter. Dawkins outside with Roby. Dawkins has 5 personals. Keep that in mind. Cheeks with a fake on Roby. Bobby Jones. Nate Archibald can't compete with Caldwell Jones, who kept it alive. Play called by Mo Cheeks. Trying to run Tiny into a screen. Look at Dawkins pushing Roby around. That's no foul call. 5 seconds on the shot clock, and Dawkins takes a wild shot. Bird rebounds it, and here comes a Boston break. 3-on-1. Cheeks the only one back on defense. Carr lays it up and in, and we have another tie at 93.
Bird did it again. Bird got a great rebound, passed it out to M.L. Carr. M.L. Carr made the layup, but Bird was really instrumental in him getting the layup.
8 straight points for Boston after Philadelphia had the spurt, and I think now they have sustained something to keep it close the rest of the way, Kevin. Tony draws the foul, will go to the line. That will be the 4th team foul on Boston. Let's go back to Larry Bird and his great defensive play and the eventual score.
He's just a great player, Larry Bird, fighting for defensive position all the way. He helps out. He'll rebound. He'll get out in the break. He fills the lanes. He'll hit the jump shot, which is a long jump shot. He's 6'8", 6'9". He's got one of the softest touches from the long range. He's an all-around great basketball player. Billy Cunningham last night said he has not seen or played against a better forward in a long time. He and Dr. J are the best he's seen.
12 points in the second half for Larry Bird. Sixers break the tie on Andrew Tony's free throws. Under 6 minutes remaining, less than half of the final period to go. Bobby Jones helps out on Tiny. Maxwell handling the ball. Irving on Bird. Carr, turnaround, ties it again at 95. 5 deadlocks in this game. We're deadlocked at 95 with 5.5 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. On a weave. Tony guarded by M.L. Carr. Andrew Toney hits outside. He is a rookie, folks. He's got 17 points and has averaged nearly 27 a game in this series. Bobby Jones on a switch has Tiny Archibald. Where's the mismatch? There it is.
Great pass by Tony. He was looking for the open man. He found it. A tremendous play by Tiny Archibald.
And Maxwell got the bucket. Another tie, under 5 minutes to go. Back and forth they go, just as the season series is gone, just as this series is gone. Irving in the corner. He's given himself up offensively to concentrate on the D, I believe. Baseline, reverse layup by Cheeks. Nice.
Nice drive by Maurice Cheeks. Dr. J has passed up the last 2 shots because he sat out a while. He'll wait a minute to get in the flow of the game, so he'll be ready for the last 4 minutes offensively.
4.5 to play. Fourth quarter. Boston doesn't want to go back home down 3-1. Only 3 teams have been able to come back from that margin in the history of the league. Carr, line drive shot. Roby, offensive boards, blocked inside. The block shot, I think Bobby Jones did it. Philadelphia back with Irving. Maxwell, Cheeks, it drops and it counts. And a 4-point Philadelphia lead.
As we said so often, Dick, the block shots for Philadelphia become so much a part of the game. It now puts the 76ers up by 4 points. They block the shot down one end of the floor. They push the ball up the floor. Here's the block shot right here. They constantly do that, and they push it up and score in a break situation.
Archibald with 14 assists and 16 points. He has been the quarterback of this club, and he plays all the time. You never see him get a breather. Larry Bird into Parrish. Parrish hooks it in, and it goes. 101-99.
That's a great thing for Boston to have a timeout and come back and score back. It's very important that they scored there, and they did.
Cheeks isolated for the moment against Tiny. Crowd on the other side. In the dock against Maxwell and Parrish. Did not get it up quickly against both of them. Here's the lead pass to Carr, and Carr laid it in despite the fact he didn't have true control. A great play by M.L. Carr in the clutch.
A poor defensive play by the whole team defense of Philadelphia that time to let Carr get by him and an easy basket.
3:15 remaining, fourth quarter. 2-point lead for Philadelphia. Watch the inside play. Irving was out, came outside, gets the pass back from Cheeks and stuffs it through. Irving was just going in and out, going backdoor and forward, and he finally got free. 18 points for Julius. Maxwell on the follow-up on Archibald's miss, and it's 105-103, 2:45 remaining.
The thing Dr. J has done so well, he waited a minute or two to get in the flow of the game. Now he's ready.
Going to the hoop is Irving, and he is fouled by Maxwell, who looks like he hurt his foot a bit, and that is the 15th foul on Boston.
Dr. J goes straight to the hoop. If you let Dr. J go to his right hand like that, you'll never be able to stop him. You'll have to foul. You have to try to push it to his left. Hollins is coming in for Tony, the rookie. They're going to go with the experience down the stretch. Philadelphia decided to go with Cheeks and Hollins down the stretch.
Tony goes out with 17 points, so he did the job again and also helped on defense tremendously. You know, have you ever seen 20 quieter points than Cornbread Maxwell has in this game as Tony takes a breather?
Not many people in the arena right now, of the 18,000 people, would think Cornbread Maxwell had 20 points.
All right, again, Philadelphia keeps getting the points they need to give them a 4-point bulge. 2.5 minutes coming up right now. Celtics over the limit. Philadelphia has 2 team fouls. Carr, Philadelphia tight D right now. Carr misses, but Parrish saves it. And a foul on Mo Cheeks, holding. Cheeks went after the ball, and that'll be the 3rd team foul. And 3rd personal.
That was a big offensive rebound by Parrish. It was hold on the arm by Cheeks. Very good call. I think they should go to Bird now, put the ball in his hands, and make sure he gets the next shot.
They're doing it at the other end with Julius Irving. Why not do it with Larry Bird, the 2 true superstars in this game?
Deny him the ball, Bobby.
Deny him the ball, Bobby. That's what they want. Larry Bird not to get a chance to get the ball. Parrish, fake, turnaround. Rebound, Bobby Jones, 2 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Filling the lane is Irving. Misses Parrish. Parrish has it. Bird is down court already. Tiny has it. 4-point lead for Philadelphia. And Tiny goes up, and they call an offensive foul against Archibald. And that is the third foul against Tiny.
Tiny forced the play. Should have stopped at the foul line. He had Bird on the left-hand side. He tried to take it all the way. Ran right over Hollins. Good call. Right now, they'll probably go back to Dr. J on the other end. He's going to probably go one-on-one situation, put the ball in his hands.
Philly won game 1 in Boston. Boston won game 2 on their home court. Philadelphia won Friday night here. Almost a steal. Someone lost the shoe. And Cheeks saved the ball. Someone has lost the shoe. And I'm looking at the feet here, and I think it's Caldwell Jones. Bobby Jones misses the shot, and the rebound Parrish. Caldwell Jones is holding his shoe, and he's going to have to play without it. Laying it up and in is Nate Archibald. What do you do in a situation like that? Throw the shoe away or what?
What would be the situation if he blocked that shot with the shoe? What would the official call?
It's a foot block. The cast on the court. Dawkins, Jones, Irving, Cheeks, and Tony for Philadelphia. For Boston, they come out with M.L. Carr, Tiny Archibald, Larry Bird, Cornbread Maxwell, and Robert Parrish.
Philadelphia's going with their offensive lineup. They brought Tony back in the game, and he's going to be involved in the play.
Winding down to a minute to go. Philadelphia by 2 points. Do they want to be up 3-1 in this series? And put huge pressure on Boston. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Jones to Dawkins. He doesn't know it. Tony goes up, and the 24-second clock expired. Darryl Dawkins lost track.
The mistake was made by Andrew Tony early in the play. When they first came out, he was in the wrong position, and it caused them to delay. By the time they got set for the play, it was too late, and it's a 24-second violation.
Lionel Hollins comes in the game for defense as we have situation substitutions now. As Tony goes out, Boston can tie it with 45 seconds to go.
Put the ball in Bird's hands right now. Let him take the shot if they can.
But you know, Bobby Jones will try to deny him the ball as Billy Cunningham exhorted before. Parrish inside, turnaround, and it goes off. Hollins has the ball. Irving saves it. 30 seconds to go. And now they want to spread it out, but first get across. That's the clock. 17 seconds on the shot clock. A 2-point lead for Philadelphia. Hollins, 8 seconds on the shot clock. They have plenty of time. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Bobby Jones misses. Rebound by Maxwell. 6 seconds to go. Boston doesn't call time. Archibald intercepted by Bobby Jones, and the game is over. Bobby Jones intercepted the pass. Boston did not call timeout.
Very surprised Boston did not call timeout, but sometimes when you have the break situation, you get an easier shot on a break situation than you will if you call a timeout. But right now, I guess Boston wish they had called a timeout.
All right, let's see what happened.
13 seconds left right here. Bobby Jones goes to the basket. Parrish gets a piece of it. The ball is rebounded. Right here should have been the timeout, but decided to break. Tony will throw the ball away, looking for Bird on the open man. He only ends up with 3 seconds. When he gets to the front court of 4 seconds. Bobby Jones, a great leaper, great defensive player. I think Bobby Jones has been fantastic in the game right up to now, and he makes the great last play.